Okay, here we go. I've set up T accounts over here, and over here are my journal entries that I just got through doing. And really what it boils down to is going through line by line and plugging in everything that you got and transferring the dollar amount over to the T account, making sure you keep debit to debit and credit to credit so that you keep it the same. So I'm going to start with cash. This is the biggest one. So I have a debit for $150,000, and I go down till I find the next cash entry. There it is right there, a credit for $6,000. And I go down until I find the next entry for cash, and there it is right there, a debit for $4,000. And I go down until I find the next cash entry, credit $4,200. And keep going down. And there's a credit of $5,000. And one more to go. Let me make room here. Okay. Oh, there we go. There's a debit of $3,500. Okay. Next page. The next cash entry is a credit for $5,100. And last but not least, a credit for $500. Okay, that's done. Next order of business, let's take a look at accounts receivable. So I go through accounts receivable, accounts receivable, accounts receivable, accounts receivable. Oh, there it is right there. First one, $7,500 debit. And it's like a Geiger counter, you know, you like beep, 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 accounts receivable, beep, beep, accounts receivable. Oh, there it is right there, accounts receivable, beep, 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 beep. So now we have a credit here of $3,500. Next page, did we get everything? Okay, we have a debit here for $3,820. Accounts receivable, accounts receivable, accounts receivable. That's it. Good. Next one, office supplies. Let's do that one. So we go through here, we start finding office supplies. That's office equipment. Don't get that confused. That's not the same thing, okay? Keep moving. Office supplies, right there, office supplies, $1,200. Debit. So I'm careful to make sure I do debit to debit, credit to credit. Any other office supplies? Nothing on the first page. On the next page, we do have another entry for office supplies for $600. Alrighty, so that's done. Next thing, scoot this up so I have some room, is our prepaid insurance. And there's only one entry for prepaid insurance. That was prepaid rent. And we've got prepaid insurance right here, $5,000. So there's only one entry. Nothing else hit prepaid insurance. Okay, come back up here, and the next one is prepaid rent, and we did do that also. Prepaid rent shows up here for $6,000 debit. Okay, now we've got office equipment. Let's find that. First one, debit, 22,000. Another one, office equipment, 3,000. Going all the way down here to the bottom. No more office equipment. Nope. That's it. And accounts payable, we've got a few of those. So let's see. Accounts payable, there it is right there. Credit 4,200. What else? Accounts payable, here's the debit, 4,200. No more accounts payable. Over here, accounts payable. Yep, there's another one. There's a credit for 600. So we are done with accounts payable. Yep. Next one then is capital. There's really only one entry, 172,000 credit. Cash withdrawal, we had one that happened, only one entry, and that was over here on the second page. There it is right there, 5,100 debit. Okay, now let's take a look at services revenue. We have a few of those. Okay, services revenue, right there, 4,000, that's the first one. Any more? Yep, there's another one, 7,500. And all I'm doing is I'm just make sure I catch everything on the page. There's no services revenue. Okay. Next page, here's another one, 3,820 credit. Okay, that's that. Last but not least, utilities expense, and that was actually one last item right here. So I have a debit of $500. Okay, so that should be everything. Next order of business is to total everything up. So here's what happens. We put normally an asset account, which is all these right here and here. These all will have a debit balance. That's normal to have a debit balance. You can even see prepaid rent has a normal ending balance of 6,000, so that's normal for it. Office supplies, debit balance of 25,000, that's normal. Or office equipment, sorry. Prepaid insurance is also a debit of 5,000. Office supplies, debit, 1,800. I'm adding everything up on the debit column here. Accounts receivable. This is a debit, and then you have a credit. So the credit goes opposite, okay? It reduces accounts receivable, and the debit increases accounts receivable. So I'm going to just use simple math, 7,500 minus 3,500, okay, plus 3,820. So I did this minus this plus this, so, or I just add all this up and it'll compare to that. I still come up with 7,820 as an ending balance. Okay, the fun one is right here with cash. So I always say that one for last, okay? Keeping the best for last. Now, you could do it again. You can total up this column, total up this column, so you have your total debits, your total credits. Compare the two, whichever one is the bigger one, you put it on that side, and you put the difference between the two. Okay, that's one way to do it. I like to do the plus and minus, plus minus, plus minus, plus minus part of it, but that's just my personal preference. If I do 150,000 and then I subtract 6,000, then I add 4,000, then I subtract 4,200, then I subtract 5,000, then I add 3,500, then I subtract 5,100 and subtract 500. It looks like I come up with 136,700. Now I could also check my numbers, because it always happens with calculators. Something gets messed up, your finger hits the wrong key, so I check it again. 150,000. And I'm going to go the other way. I'm going to go plus 4,000 plus 3,500, and then I'm going to subtract 6,000 and 4,200 and 5,000, 5,100, 500, and I come up with 136,700, 136,700. Okay, good. So now that I've got everything totaled up on the asset side, I'm going to now total up my one and only liability, and I've got the same situation. I got 4,200 and a 4,200. This is a credit, this is a debit. They cancel each other out. So now what's left is a credit of 600. I could do it that way. I just choose to go that route, or I could go 4,200 plus 600 is 4,800, and then compare that to 4,200, whichever is the bigger dollar amount. You put it over on this side and you take the difference. It still comes out to be 600. My capital account, there's only one entry, so 172,000. Cash withdrawal, 5,100. Revenues, service revenue, total this up, 4,000 plus 7,500 plus 3,820, and that gives me 15,320. Utilities, only one entry, so 500. Okay. So that's that part. Now, what I do is I set up a trial balance, because I need to find out if I have everything accounted for. And the trial balance is a checks and balance to make sure that I have everything on the debit side, and everything on the credit side is on the credit side, that everything belongs in the right place. So I will go through here and I will list all of my